If you're a comic book fan watching this video, then you probably already know that Benny Potter, Comicstorian, passed away on Saturday. How can I explain how this man impacted me? You're going to hear, or you already heard, that Benny and Rob are the YouTube comic goats. The reason why you're hearing that because it's true. They probably, I know they didn't start the whole comic book YouTube scene. They might not even be the biggest channels, but they have the most impact. Let me kind of explain. I'm dyslexic. So I was diagnosed around 8 or 9. And I remember the doctor talking to my mom right in front of me and said that you need to put comic books in his face. Like, you need to introduce him to the world of comics. He's not going to read a thing at first, which he was right. He's going to look at the pictures, and I did. But eventually, he's going to want to know more of what's going on with the story. And the only way for him to find out is for him to read. And the only way for him to read is to try. Don't help him. No, I didn't. He said that he will figure it out. And I did. And to this day, I can thank comics for giving me the ability to learn how to read. I'm old. I was born in 1980, so I've been reading comics 8 or 9, so since the late 80s, all throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s. I joined the military around 2000, so we have that in common. And I got out around 2004. I think he was joining around that time. So, while I was in, my parents lost their house, and they lost a storage unit that had all of our stuff in it, including my comic collection. Thousands of comics. Gone. I didn't know how to restart or do anything, so I just kind of got out of reading comics altogether for about a decade. Excuse me. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to record this before I go to work. Now, I stopped reading comics, but I didn't stop being a nerd. I would go to work and I would bug my coworkers, tell them all kinds of stories about the old comics that I read. I mean, I got on their nerves. I know I did. There's nice people out there, but, I know I was getting on their nerves. Finally, this guy walks up to me. I don't know. I forgot who it was or what job I was working. He was like, dude, why don't you hop on YouTube and check out some of these comic book YouTube creators? Because you're talking about old stuff. They talk about old stuff too, but they also talk about new stuff. So you need to get back into it. So I did. He suggested me to go check out Comic Explain. And I did. And I dove into his channel. I mean, dove. Went into his library, just watched everything. And while I was watching, he mentioned Comicstorian, Benny. And so with his channel, I did the exact same thing. Dove into his channel. I mean, if it wasn't for Benny, I wouldn't know about the New 52. I mean, I watched every video of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern that Benny put out. Loved every minute of it. So I was hooked. Those two got me hooked. Do I follow other comic YouTubers? Yes, a whole bunch. But those are the two that got me into it. I mean, Benny is literally my voice, or I hear Benny's voice when I read Batman. Like, he is my Batman voice. He is also my Joker voice. Like, when I'm reading those two characters, his voice is what I hear. So that's just right there shows what kind of impact he had. When I decided to become a YouTuber, didn't start off as a comic book YouTuber because I felt like I wasn't qualified. Like, how am I going to sit there and become a comic book YouTuber when all my comic book information was coming from it? So I didn't, I had a variety channel, they say When you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. And that's exactly how that channel worked out. It wasn't doing what it needed to do. But I remember watching the video. Benny, he shares everything. I just hit the thing. And he shared that how when he first got started YouTube, he didn't start with comics either. I think he got into it through his girlfriend, who soon became his fiance, soon became his wife. She had a gaming channel, and he helped her with that. And he started like Comicstorian as like a side project because he loved reading comics and said, might as well go ahead and make videos about it. Well, that channel soon became a lot larger than the gaming channel, so they decided to pivot, which worked out great. Once I heard that story, I decided to do the same thing. I'm like, I don't know what my future is going to be on YouTube. All I know is that I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it doing something that I love. I love reading comics, so that's what I'm going to cover. So if it wasn't for Benny, this channel, what I'm speaking to you on right now, would never happen. I know it's hard. I mean, they're never going to see this, but for his team at Comicstorian, for Rob, for Sal, you guys knew Benny the best. We need more Benny stories. I know it's hard right now. Very hard. And I'm not going to tell you you're going to get over it one day. You never get over it. Like, I lost my parents over a decade ago, and I'm still not over it. Did I move on? Yes. Am I over it? No. And I know you guys have channels that are probably big enough to sustain itself, so you don't have to make any videos. I know it's probably hard to even think about making any more videos, but we need Benny stories. The community, the comic book community, needs more Benny stories, and you guys do them best. So please keep putting out Benny stories. Keep making your wonderful content. We lost a great one. We don't need to lose anymore. I mean, I'm not much of a speaker, so like I said, he impacted me. This channel wouldn't be what it is. It probably wouldn't even be in existence if it wasn't for Benny. So rest in peace, King. You're going to be missed. One more thing. They always say you shouldn't meet your heroes. One of the biggest regrets I'm ever going to have in life is not being able to meet Benny Potter. That, I feel like, is a very big missed opportunity. Because you hear all the stories, and he never got a big head, even though he got to the size that he got. You know, he always helped out all these other comic book YouTubers that were coming up, and they all had these good stories, how he took time, how he talked to them, how he helped them. I mean, hell, I remember, Rob explained how if it wasn't for Benny, that he was burnt out and that he wasn't going to perhaps keep continuing. You know, I remember Benny telling that story, how he went to Rob and was like, dude, you need to hire an editor. You're killing yourself. Just hire an editor. And because of that, Rob's still going strong. So, yeah, we need more Benny stories. Rest in peace, King. You'll always be missed.